Master ki
So, do we need to remove this one? Can you see it? Is it clear? What's on the?
It's black.
Yeah.
Let it hold one.
So, yeah. Of course, it took a little. I had to restart the computer to get both screens. I thought I had everything ready. Everything was all the programs were open like that. Just to start, but somehow this is an old computer. So, can you see clearly where you see?
Yeah.
And you can hear me clearly.
This.
But
there's nothing on the screen now. It's just
no, it's opening. It's opening. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I thought here tonight to continue somewhat where we left off last time, but also it's kind of an independent presentation, and I want to discuss what is actually intelligent design. What do we mean by the term? What do we try to ascribe by the word intelligent design? How do we assess intelligent design? And did I mention it last time? It's something that is quite common actually. I think I gave the example that we are sitting here in this temple room, and we have all probably unconsciously concluded that we are in an artificial structure. Did I mention that?
Yeah.
As a last time. So we're not in a cave. It could be. I mean, there are also naturally forms, rooms, such as caves, mountain caves. And one could of course ask, how do we know? How do we know? And that's, this is what I want to discuss tonight. How can we tell if something is a naturally formed occurrence or trait, or if nature is not capable of forming such structures, such as rooms like this, and how we can and how we can be justifying assessing that here we are dealing with a structure that is not a result of any natural process. And because that's actually the whole thrust of this discussion. We're discussing nature, we're discussing life, we're discussing biology. And as we said last time, Darwin and his followers, including his contemporary followers, are claiming that everything about biology is a result of natural processes. And in order to test that claim, then we have to actually know how do we distinguish between what nature, natural processes, natural physics, chemistry is capable of, and what is not. And do we have features in living organisms that, by all reasonable criteria, cannot be explained as a result of a natural process. So here, while we are waiting, I don't have the fastest computer, as you see. So, I'm first going to give, I have a PowerPoint presentation with some discussions on this issue, and also some examples of where this discussion is occurring, because it's not only within biology, there are many other fields where this discussion is taking place. So I'll give you some examples about from there where scientists actually concluded. Here we have an instance of design. So I'm going to give some examples there. And then I'm going to discuss a particular criterion for actually assessing, and this criterion can be extended to be a mathematical, statistical demonstration of to see actually if we're dealing with something that is intelligent design or is a result of natural process, and when it's justified to make that conclusion or not. And then, having looked at that, then I'll look at some specific, again, examples in nature where many scientists, and we also claim, well, this cannot be chance, this we find here. It's too unlikely, it's too improbable, and the rational explanation of this is that this must be intelligent design. And we're going to look at...
I think maybe you should check that orange icon on the toolbar, maybe that's
Huh?
trying to tell you. That orange thing that's blinking on the toolbar, maybe you should check that, maybe it's trying to tell you that it has
No, I don't think it's anything to do with that. It's just that it just takes time. I think it normally comes. And while we're waiting for maybe just also here. That's sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have any questions on this, just to start with? I mean, it's quite clear, isn't it? What I explained.
What did you speak about last time?
There we talk about theory of evolution, Darwin theory of evolution, and the history of the theory of evolution. How before Darwin, scientists were actually religious and concluded that God exists. Darwin, he turned everything upside down. Then we looked at Darwin's original theory and found that actually nobody believes in Darwin's original theory. Scientists nowadays are not Darwinists, they're neo-Darwinists. And then we looked at what's wrong with Darwin's original theory. Then we looked at what's wrong with neo-Darwinism, the modern theory. And then we looked into particularly what's troubling neo-Darwinism, namely biochemistry and molecular biology. And you've seen this animation I've shown before. I showed that animation. And there we concluded actually some from a biological institute in Austria. Actually, they said there is no theory of evolution. That was the conclusion. That's actually where we left last time.
Is that all built on the complexity of the cell? Or?
Yeah. I mean, you can make arguments from all, but we were looking at the complexity of the cell, and we will continue.
Then some question. So that some more and more scientists believe there is an intelligent design.
Yeah, I say that more and more. I mean, they've been. I don't know if it's even a minority, but it's definitely a minority who speaks out. Most are silenced, or give lip service to.
And then on the intelligent design, they give a definition
Of
the intelligent design source.
That I'll get into now, but the point is actually you cannot. I can start explaining while we are waiting. I hope we are. Because, I often give lectures on this when I start about what intelligent design actually is. I start explaining what it is not. That also makes clear, because many are confusing the term intelligent design. So, of course, I think I concluded with a quote last time from Sariputta, wasn't it? It was a Sariputta quote, where he said that it was from 76, and it said that we do not think that molecular forces can explain features like this, but to say that there's an intelligent designer is a reasonable explanation. He said something like that. And that was from 1976. So I use that to to prove that actually intelligent design has nothing to do with Christians, because that's kind of the many are associated with, and that's been a kind of a systematic propaganda. They want to associate it with Christians, creationists, who believe the Earth is only 6,000 years old. So that's of course easy, to dismiss and ridicule. So how can we take anyone seriously who believes the Earth is only 6,000 years old? So they want to associate these two, but they're actually not associated. Michel Sarkozy was using that argument, and as I said, the whole intelligent design argument in modern context in terms of biochemistry came out in the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s and 80s in the wake of discovery of the real complexity found in the cells. So it's not, it has nothing to do with Christianity, it's nothing to do with the Bible. It has, that's one point. Another point about intelligent design is actually it's a very minimal conclusion. Actually, you cannot, when you look at the design, it's generally you cannot conclude the source of that intelligence. Actually, who did it? That's it's often like that. And come on, this is not natural. It's working. It's not as it is. Do like this. Okay, now this doesn't. So it goes down, and then we do it a different way. In 2 steps. It might work. So just like, for example, someone died, a dead body was found. So then the police is called, and what is the first thing they have to determine? Did he die naturally, or was it a crime? Isn't it? So, and then they make some investigations. Then actually they may conclude, actually this is a crime. This is a crime. But just because they concluded, here we have a crime, doesn't mean that they know who did the crime. That might be, we have many crimes, and we never know who killed Olof Palme, for example. Olof Palme, Swedish Prime Minister. He was killed in 1986 when I was on my way to India for the first time, and all the newspapers, headlines, and so on, Air India like that, Olof Palme had been shot. It was in Scandinavia. It's like it was worse than the Kennedy assassination. And so who did it? We don't know. They haven't found any culprit yet, and probably never will. But that doesn't mean he was not killed. He was killed. So that's very often you cannot tell. Or another example, which is also like archaeologists. Archaeologists are studying different artifacts. Not artifacts actually means it's something artificial, but they're studying objects. For example, they might be studying stones, flint stones, and they then analyze these stones and they look at them. Can everything on these stones be explained naturally by some geological process or something like that? Or are there traits on these stones which defies natural explanation and which is evidence that here someone has worked on these stones? So, and that's actually also concluding intelligent design when archaeologists are studying stones like that. Then they are looking at, is anything here natural, or is it some things that are clearly worked by human beings? But actually the point is, by human beings, they conclude it's human beings, but actually they're not able to say it's human beings. They can just say someone has been working on these, but we don't know. But it's just an assumption, because I think there's no other possibility, but there could be others. But it's just, we can conclude that this is evidence of human activity. But actually we don't know. And even we conclude it's human activity, we don't know.
But it can be concluded that it's intelligence. Like it might not be a person or a human being, but it might be an alien or
Could be an alien.
Yeah.
Although why would they cut Flintstones if they're aliens? But they could do it. And this is really too much. So that's but you cannot tell who did it, precisely, what was the name of he who did it. If it was a he, we don't know, but we know it's artificially, worked. That must be considered. Also another point is about intelligent design doesn't mean that it's something perfect. Someone will criticize, and someone used to see those who criticize intelligent design. Then they will look at, just look at the eye. It's not perfect. It should, if it had been constructed perfectly, it should be constructed differently. Of course, that's even ridiculous, because they don't even know precisely how it works. Or they'll say that the spine, the back, the spine. Actually, it's our spine, they say, is very imperfect. It's not really constructed for walking upright on two legs. Our spine should have been constructed stronger and like that. And so, because this is not perfect, therefore it cannot be intelligent design. But that doesn't mean that's not a necessary conclusion. You have plenty of things which are not very perfect, and I normally have. I don't think this presentation I have here, but I have a nice picture of a Skoda model 1983. This is definitely not a perfect design. It's a very imperfect design. Some of you were not born even in 83, but you know the Skoda from 83?
I know the Trabant, which was made of compressed cardboard.
Yeah, so it's something like that.
Yeah.
So you can also have a Trabant. And you will see that it's not perfect, but it's definitely a result of design. Or you can also have a mixed, you can have an old rusty Trabant. So then you'll see actually there's some design there, and there's some natural process. The Trabant itself is a result of design. The rust is a result of natural process. So you can also it's possible things are mixed up like that. And so design, to conclude design simply means to conclude that we have this is a trait that cannot be the result of any natural process, which is by all criteria is intelligently constructed, intelligently designed. Anyway, the examples I'm giving, maybe they don't need
What happened? The window that was orange before, what happens if you close it down?
This is just Windows Explorer, and this one.
I think your computer has a virus.
Probably. Very
The one
much.
in the middle. Oh, that's good.
It's not natural.
It's probably the powers that be trying to shut you down.
Yeah. But then I'll speak. Because anyway, what I'm saying now, I may have some illustrations to that, but it's quite obvious that we don't necessarily need the slides for. It's very common sense, isn't it? And I'll give you a third example, which I also have here on the board, which is yeah, it was fantastic. So still miracles are possible. We believe in miracles. Expect miracles. Srila Krishna Swami says that not only we should believe, we should expect miracles to happen. Just go out, serve Krishna and expect miracles. So, what is intelligent design? Yeah, here I have some nice quotes from Prabhupada I thought that we would like to see here. Prabhupada here, he writes, "The intelligent man can see that neither the living entity nor the phenomenal world are creations of chance. The symmetry of creation and its regulative actions and reactions suggests the plan of an intelligent brain behind them, and by genuine inquiry one may find out the ultimate cause." So it's just, just in case someone would say that, well, but this discussions of science, intelligent design, this is not Prabhupada, but Prabhupada is arguing. This is precisely what Prabhupada is arguing here. Prabhupada is arguing for intelligent design in nature by seeing the symmetry of the creation and its regulative actions and reactions.
Isn't it more like Sankhya Yoga? Like science in terms of this, isn't it like just finding the root of the tree?
Yeah, that's kind of a Sankhya, yeah. You're analyzing nature and looking for causes for what you're finding. That's what Sankhya does. And ultimately Sankhya comes back to, the super soul as a cause. And like that. So it's part of Sankhya. Prabhupada writes here, when we speak of law, we must understand that there must be a lawmaker. That's an intelligent design argument in Prabhupada. Science is discovering some sudden laws of nature, but who made that law? As soon as you say that here is a law which is being carried very nicely, there must be a lawmaker. So I think we all heard this argument from Prabhupada before. So Prabhupada is arguing like that. We find some law-like process in nature, and that is highly suggestive or indicative that there is a lawmaker behind it. So here I have a definition of what I mean by intelligent design. It's a feature that cannot be the result of any known physical process or chance, and which is best explained as a result of an intelligent cause. And some examples of that, I already said archaeology is one example. Here we have actually, it's called the Yelling Stone.
The what?
Yelling is the Har du hørt det? It's famous. Do you know this?
No.
It's the most famous stone in Denmark. It's a stone. It's only about a little over 1,000 years old, but it's the oldest stone found with such an extensive text written in old runes, these old Nordic letters, and which describes actually some of the first kings in our present dynasty kings. So it's famous. So actually, if you look at this, you can see there's many natural features on it. It's a stone of granite. That's a volcanic stone actually, and also that it's found here in Denmark. Also that there's no volcanoes here, but it has natural. Somehow or other, it was naturally transported by the glaciers during the glaciation. At one point down from Norway and Sweden somewhere. So it's not. There's nothing mystical about that we find granite stones here. But of course, the engravings there, they cannot be explained as a result of a natural process. And this is what archaeologists, they're working on. Here we have some nice implements, which expert archaeologists will need to say, well, these are artifacts, they're not naturally formed. And in other fields, actually, where modern scientists, some scientists, they are actively engaged in trying to find intelligent design, is what's called search for extraterrestrial intelligence. There are scientists who are scanning the night sky for radio signals, which they will try to find if there's some intelligently formed radio signals coming from space. All kinds of radio signals from space. Just for information, many stars and other bodies, they emit radio signals just as they emit light. And this, as I understand, it might even be more important than the light, the radio signals that come from space. So there's a whole group of scientists who are analyzing these signals, and they are, asking, trying to investigate, do we have some intelligently caused radio signals? So far, they haven't found any, but there was a movie some maybe 15, 20 years ago, which was about these scientists, and in that movie actually they got a radio signal that they concluded this is not just chance, this is not just noise, but this is an intelligent signal. And the signal they got was that they got a signal that spelled out all the prime numbers from 1 to 101. Who doesn't know what a prime number is? Everyone, you know? You don't know. Prime number are the numbers that can only be divided by themselves, or actually by 1 and themselves. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29. These are the prime numbers. So in this film, the